Common question I always get from Dubai real estate agents is what country should I target to advertise and find international buyers for Dubai or UAE real estate? In this video, I'm going to break down and analyze where you should be spending your advertising budget by analyzing the top 50 countries where people are buying Dubai or UAE real estate, looking into the numbers that matter when deciding which countries to target, like population, the number of ads in that current market, and also the number of millionaires that actually live there as well. So number one, we would look at the population of the country to actually know how big that target audience is that we can target. Number two, we would be looking at the number of meta ads that is actually running in that market currently to know how well served it is, because we have a lot of opportunity in the underserved markets. And thirdly, we'll be looking at the number of millionaires in that country so that we can see how much of our ideal audience is actually in these countries as well. So I've devised a formula, which is the population of the country divided by the number of meta ads running in that market, which is targeting Dubai real estate, multiplied by the number of millionaires in that country. So therefore, giving us an opportunity score, which is going to give us an idea of how big the opportunity is in that market. And the reason we look at the number of meta ads running in a specific market is because that gives us a general idea of how much money is actually being spent in these markets, because the more ads that are running, the more likely it is that more money is being spent as well. As advertisers have to run more ads in order to combat ad fatigue, which is basically when people keep seeing the same ads again and again, and so you have to create new ads in order to keep optimizing the cost per lead. So of course, this is not a complete guide on which countries you should target, but it does give us a very, very good idea of where the opportunities are and where the underserved markets are. But of course, economic and political factors come into play as well. So I know recently in the Netherlands, and this may have been halted now, but there was an announcement to say that they will be taxed on their unrealized capital gains. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you exactly how I did this. So firstly, what I did is I actually went to ChatGPT and just found out the top 50 countries where people are buying Dubai real estate. Next, what I did is, and advertising agencies are going to hate me for sharing this, but I went to Facebook ads library where we can see what ads different companies are running there. Onto ads library on the first link. And then let's just say we're looking at the UK. We're going to select all ads here. And then in speech marks here, we're just going to type in Dubai real estate and we're going to search that. So I did test this looking at Dubai property, but what I found was travel agencies were showing up. So I decided to just use Dubai real estate to get the most accurate data on this. And we put it in speech marks so that we can find the exact phrase search as well. So here we can see all of these companies. Maybe you're showing up here, maybe it's your competitors, but we can see a whole bunch of different businesses running ads for Dubai real estate. And then what I did was I created this Google Sheet. I put all the countries here. There's 50 countries here, the top 50 countries where people are buying Dubai real estate. I've put the population here. I've gone and filled out the number of meta ads here by searching every single country over here. I've put in the numbers. I put the number of millionaires in, and then I've devised this formula, which is doing population divided by number of meta ads multiplied by the number of millionaires in that country. And that is giving us these opportunity scores. The higher the number, the higher the opportunity is. And one thing or two things to note is this is taking into account ads that are in English. Ads in local languages are not included. Therefore, the opportunity score will be higher than it should be compared to if you were taking into account local language ads. So any ads, for example, in like Brazil, where English is not the first language, there will be more ads in Portuguese. So just take into account that this score should be lower than what it is. And then also ads are not available in China, Russia, and Iran. So just keep that in mind that, obviously, and we know China are big buyers and also Russia, but we have no data on this. So we don't know what the opportunity is. And we also can't advertise on Meta in these countries as well. So let's see what the biggest opportunity is according to this data. So Here we can see that the US, by quite a distance, is the biggest opportunity for finding Dubai real estate clients. And next is Japan. Third, we have Brazil. Fourth, we have South Korea. Fifth, we have Indonesia. Sixth, we have India with, of course, over 1.4 billion people there, and also 850,000 millionaires in that country as well. Next, we have Germany, Mexico, Italy, France, Canada, and so on. So what I'll do is I'll share this Google Sheet in the description below so that you can check it out, make a copy, and adjust this formula however you may want to do it. And other things I would personally look at as well, if I was to analyze this even further, which would obviously take a lot more time as well. But I would be looking at things like interest rates in that country, also the tax structure, tax laws. Also, I'd be taking into account sentiment of the UAE in these countries, which you'd potentially target as well. Also, recent tax changes like what happened in the Netherlands with the unrealized capital gains tax. I'm sure that kind of thing will be coming to more European countries. And also general trends like people moving from the UK to the UAE as well. That's also driven by tax changes and government policy. But aside from that, from a personal perspective, what I would be also taking into account is what languages do you speak? Also, which country are you from if you're not from the UAE? For example, if you're from the UK and you're targeting other countries to find international buyers for real estate in Dubai, I would personally be looking at targeting the UK because you're already from there. It's easier to build trust with these prospects and you're much more likely to actually close on them as well, because ultimately people buy from people and people like people who are similar to them as well. This especially applies if you're not doing a roadshow in that country, because then you'll be basically selling over the phone or Zoom. So building trust in that format is much more difficult compared to in person. So keep that in mind as well when looking to target different countries and deciding where to target as well. So if you'd like help with targeting international buyers to sell Dubai real estate to them, I'll put a link in the description where you can book in a quick call with me to see if this could be a fit for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please like, comment, and subscribe, as I'll be putting out far more value for you as well in the coming weeks.